I'm Patrick Bailey with iQlist, and today I am in the lovely Rocky Mountains of Colorado on vacation. And I, being the geek that I am, brought my 3D printers along with me. In fact, they're printing stuff in the background right now inside. So, my wife's laughing at me, but I got a couple things to print here. I got to get ready for this conference. So, at any rate, in this video, I'm going to go over how to create a simple, round, 3D printed fridge magnet using OpenScad and an SVG file. Okay, first a few URLs. So first I posted this on Printables the other day, blank round OpenScad fridge magnet, and the idea is all the OpenScad is done there for you except for you add an SVG file so you can put something on there and it has a rim around it. Pretty simple. So it's kind of like just a template people can use, and we'll go over how to use that. And if you go there, you'll see there's a couple files. The OpenScad is the one you want to download. That's the key. But also, I put a couple SVG files on there as examples. There's a Crown SVG and a Mandalorian SVG, but you can actually go find a lot of SVG files on the internet, or you can get a file and convert it into SVG. And with that, I actually put this out, even though this is the same OpenScad for those of you who are Github people. Here it is. I'll put the link on the show notes. Here it is on GitHub. You can just download it directly, and there's the OpenScad code. Now with that, I did go grab this example I'm going to use in this guy, and I'll put a link on this. I just found a 3D printer SVG file. So we're going to make a magnet. We're going to make one here. And then also, if you're unfamiliar with OpenScad, here you can go to openscad.org and go download the software, and this is what you need to actually run this stuff. Oh, and I forgot one more link. I'll put a link in the show notes. There's a magnet I use particularly on this, but I'll put a link in the show notes. I always get it at Amazon, and they're a couple bucks a piece. So they're very strong magnets, but they cost a little bit. But they're kind of my go-to when I'm making fridge magnets, and I make way too many fridge magnets, but I love it. Okay, so with that, we'll kind of go over how to use the lovely OpenScad. If I can open it. Okay, so here's the OpenScad as is. So if you go here and run it, you're going to get this. You're going to get this thing with a black ring, and it's all white. Now the colors are arbitrary, so you can change whatever color you want, but I just chose black and white just so people can see it. Now what you're going to want to do is a couple things. There's the diameter of this disc. So if you want to make a bigger disc, here's where you do it, but this is 60 millimeters, which is probably a good size. But if you want to make a giant one, you could. So you could change that to 100 from 60, and you could make a really big one if you want to. I don't suggest it on your first round. Probably 60 is a good place to start. You could also make it deeper. You don't need to. But also, just another thing down here, cut in half from false. You can put that to true. Don't leave it like that. If you put it to true, it'll cut it in half just to show you that there's a void there where the magnet goes. You don't want to leave it like that, otherwise you're going to have problems. So set it back to false. There we go. So next thing we want to do is we want to actually put an SVG file. So, SVG height, you can leave that because that's the height of this little rim right here. Another thing, you can change that rim. So I have the rim thickness, boom. I'm assuming you're doing 3 layers of 0.15, but if you're doing 0.2, 3 layers, change it to a 0.2, rerun it, and it makes it a little thicker. But I'll go back to my 0.15. And also the rim thickness, if you don't want it there, put it 0. It goes away. If you want it really thin, make it really thin, but I'm going to leave it at 5 for my purposes. And the last thing is all the adjustments for your SVG file. So what you want to do is find your SVG file. I'm going to cheat because I copied it here. Right now it says your file SVG, which goes to nothing. But what happens is wherever your SVG file is, it needs to be in the same folder that this file's in. So we'll go here, and we'll change it to that. Hit save. Now one thing here, you may have to zoom out because your SVG file is whatever size it's going to be, and it may not be the right size. So the first thing you have to do is scale it. So here you say I have a scale factor of 0.25. You might need to go, I'll go 0.1 as an example, or you might need to make it bigger, whatever you need to do. So I'll say 0.22. You got a dog in the background if you can hear that, but the joys of filming outside. So now the SVG, I have the X and Y. I need to nudge a little bit. So I'll say -12 in my X. Not quite enough. 15. 16. And I bet you I'm going to be the same in the Y. Well, and look, see, I'm almost there, but I'm probably still a little too big. So I'll say 0.21. And then we'll keep nudging it. So it takes a little while to kind of nudge it right where you want. Ooh, that's pretty close. And let me go down. Boom. There you go. So now there's my file. That's kind of what I want for this example. I'm going to print this out. Now another thing, even though the colors don't matter, maybe you might want to fiddle with it because you might want to see it a little differently. So if you go down here, you'll see this black, you'll see the rim module, it's black. If I want to make it red, I could just change that black to red. Now it's red. If I scroll down to the import SVG module, it's black. I can change it to red. Doesn't really change the color, but you can kind of see now it looks red. And also the white, if I didn't like the white of the base, where is it? Boom, boom, boom. If I can only find things, huh? There it is, white. Circle base magnet module, change that white to, let's just say black. Boom, and now, oh, that kind of looks cool. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna undo all this and just kind of go white and black on everything. Boom. Okay. Again, that's just so you can see it. It's not really what happens in the end. It's up to you when you actually render it. So now we'll render it, which should render pretty quickly. And if memory serves, we'll see this pretty quickly. I'll give you a number. We'll do it. We'll see what the numbers are. But this takes about an hour to print, about an hour to print at this size. So it's not too bad. It's kind of a quick print, or should be. So we'll let it render. And for those who haven't done this before, you see it's rendering down here. So for those who haven't done OpenScad, the first thing was a preview. Now it rendered. Now when you render, if you're new to OpenScad, all the colors go away, because those are just there to help you. Now we'll save it. And where did I save? Let's see. We'll say 3D printed. Boom. Blank. Boom. Okay, now we'll take that guy, and we will go into our slicer. And I will grab it wherever I put it. Let's see, date modified. Where did I put you? Oh, sorry, I'm being silly. I'm looking for that. There we go. Let's get, there we go. There. I'm being silly. There we go. Now, a couple things. Let's slice it. And what we need to do, if you're doing 0.15, which I suggest, otherwise you're going to have problems, you want to go down to 4.25. That's the first layer where it covers up the magnet. Hit that, and you can hit plus there for a change element, or you can right-click it and say add pause, because I really don't want to change the filament. I just want to pause. And then I can go to the very top, and I can say the top, that's one layer, and I can hit my down button, 2 layers, one more, 3 layers, and then I can hit that, and I can right-click on that and say edit that color, just for visualization sake, hit black, and there we go. And then I can go to the filaments up here, click on that, choose white, just for visualization. And there, that's kind of close to what I'm going to be. And hit slice again, so we get all that information in there. Well, I guess it meant to be exported, so let me export it. Boom, export it. And 1 hour, 5 minutes. So let's go see what it actually is. But that's how you can take, well, let's go see what it actually, let's go run it. Let's go get it, see what the actual numbers are. But we should be close, 1 hour. 1 hour to get a magnet. Okay, this one turned into a real fun one. But before I get into it, so here is the magnets I forgot to show. So I'll put a link in the show notes. But these are the magnets I use. So they're about $24 for 10. So they're a little pricey, but they're very strong magnets. I think they make a really good result. Okay, so with that, let's first go over the numbers, then go over the fun disaster fun I had. So first, in my case, because I kind of went to dinner, it took 1 hour and 33 minutes to print, but I think really it's just really actually over an hour. It took 1.3 central electricity, but also I'm on vacation. I forgot to bring my scale. So I'm kind of estimating the cost based on what Prusa Slicer would say. So I think the weight should be about 0.12 kilograms, and at $20 per kilogram comes up to 24 cents. But then you got to add the magnet in, and the magnet's $2.40. So all in, I would say a pretty rough, well, not a rough estimate, but I guess I'm probably within 5%. The total cost on this would be $2.66 to print. But, oh, the joy. This one was a fun one. We've got, well, it should be simple, but in my case, I had just unforeseen disasters. So with my printer, I had this fun thing happen. So when I tried to change out to the black filament, it decided to just throw a hissy fit at me, and it wouldn't accept it. I was getting some jams, and it wasn't. So I just have a disc here with nothing on it. So I need to go cut this magnet out so I can reuse that magnet again. But after a few disasters, I got the printer working again. Some minor fixes. So those of you who have printers know that you have to fix them from time to time. They're kind of like old cars. You still gotta. We're not to the point when we're maintenance free, but we're getting there. But here, let's see if I can show it really well. There is my results, and I think it turned out really well. So I'm pretty happy with it. My wife's chuckling at me that I made a 3D printed magnet of a 3D printer while on vacation, but there it is. But overall, the point I want to get across on this one is I just want to kind of show how to make this template so that people could use it so you can make your own magnets. In fact, I've actually used this template a few times already on my trip. I'm going to have to do some other videos on that, kind of showing we're making some memorabilia stuff and also doing some sneaky stuff, leaving stuff behind on my trip. But anyway, that's the basis on how you do this, how to use the template. So go enjoy. And if anyone puts any cool things out there, please link it. Go on Printables and do a make, post a make if you make one. There's a lot of cool ideas out there, and there's all kinds of cool files and SVG files you can find out there. Anyway, with that, let's wrap this up with a reminder that 3D printing is an engineering adventure that you're on. You can develop your skills and knowledge and take this in so many ways. You can make a business out of this. Maybe you sell a bunch of magnets, I don't know. You can teach others, and you can make some amazing designs. So design it, engineer it. I'm working on some 3D printed ideas for Father's Day gifts. I have found a few neat prints on Printables, and I've made a few of my own. Okay, the ones I'm coming up with are all fridge magnets. But hey, I think a 3D printed fridge magnet tie for Dad is as useful as it is funny. I hope to get a video out before Father's Day going over some neat Father's Day gift ideas you can print. There are a lot of neat knickknacks and tools out there in Printables I'm sure your father would love. At any rate, keep an eye out for a Father's Day 3D printing video.